Alright, everybody, welcome to Sakura's Crafting Guide. Basically, a lot of people who have done crafting kind of know and or understand how the basic crafting actually goes. But what I'm going to do is show you guys the specialist crafting for what ends up coming out. And the specialist, you can choose one of three, or you can choose three classes for your Disciple of the Hand. I've been told that like Alchemist is a complete and utter waste. So the thing is that with the specialist crafting, you should have unlocked at least level 50 of everything, and level 54 of Goldsmith. Level 54 of Goldsmith actually makes it much easier, and also level 50 armor ability called Piece by Piece makes it easier too, when you're trying to craft items and not just materials. So this is kind of what I do for the materials. Now, I actually always start off by using Maker's Mark. Maker's Mark can get me 4 free actions to advance my progress without costing me durability. Now, with the master items, what ends up happening is that you get all of these really cool bonuses. All of these right here are the exact same for any crafter, and then you have the Heart of the Blah, which takes blue crafting scripts to get, and you get 10 of them. So it is fairly expensive, but you can do it. Now, one of the major items that is out here is that I always try and get used, if at all possible, is called Trained Hand. Trained Hand gives you both a quality increase and progress increase. So it's basically one of these actions, Standard Synthesis, and it's also the action of your Advanced Touch. Now, it does need to meet certain qualifications, which can be a royal bitch. So, these are pretty much my abilities that I use. I'm actually thinking of, when I'm doing high-end crafting, of dropping Innovation and moving in with Comfort Zone. Comfort Zone, overall you net a little bit more. You net a total of 14 CP, and with the amount of steps that you use, sometimes the 14 CP can come in handy, sometimes you can just hose yourself. Now, with the Expert Synthesis crafting and the Specialist, you have to be very careful on what you do. So I always start off with Maker's Mark, and if it ends up proccing me a quality, then I'll use Tricks of the Trade to regain the 20 CP that I used for Maker's Mark. But your next action that you want to do is called Whistle While You Work. Now, the whistle stacks work very differently. Unlike the Inner Quiet, these things count down. The lower they are, the better the benefit. With Nimia's Wheel, if you have 18 and it's down to 1 stack, you can regain 30 durability for only 18 CP. Otherwise, you're spending 92 CP. Now, after that, I do Flawless Synthesis. It's a 90% progress. You will fail. Generally, if I can get 2 out of it on, a material, I'm happy. If you get all 3, hey, look, you're doing great. Now, depending on how you want to go ahead and cycle, in that this is all based around your CP rotation. And with the CP rotation, what ends up happening is as you can see, I only have 250 CP. My gear isn't necessarily the best. That was kind of just made for me earlier. They looked at my gear and they're like, "Oh, I'm so sad for you, I'm going to make you new stuff." I haven't quite got my Carpenter up, and I don't really feel like spending the 200,000 in order to get it. So, but I do Inner Quiet, so Inner Quiet 1 and Whistle 11. After that, it's all about building the whistle stacks, and this can be, when you get a quality thing, like a good or an excellent, it can be really hard to kind of decide on what you want to do. Now, last time I actually reclaimed the 20 CP, but this time I'm going to do the Precise Touch, because that will take my quality up to 4, and that will bring this down to 9. And then at 9, I can use Satisfaction, and actually go ahead and get 15 more CP back. Now, there's a risk by leaving it up, because if you end up getting the quality again, like a good or an excellent, you lose that additional 15 CP, but I also don't want to waste time with Steady Hand and Waste Not. Now, I use Steady Hand 2 and Waste Not 1, The reason being is by doing that, you can get the most and they time out evenly with hasty touch. And with hasty touch, as you can see, it's only a 50% success rate, but 100% efficiency. But it does build your inner quiet stacks. So, and then with this, for how I currently have it, what I'm going to do is I'm going to let that last waste knot wear off, but I'm going to use satisfaction, regain the 15 CP, and then by doing that, now my whistles are down, because it does use a whistle stack, and you want to use these stacks as quick as possible. Now, as you can see, I have 186 CP left, and I used the Woodworker's Brigit's Blessing. That compared to Brigitte Brow, at about 6, this one's actually better. This one can be way better if you're running, if you're kind of low on inner quiet stacks, or if you have enough CP, you can use Brigitte's Miracle and continue to get additional bonuses for cheap. But this one does it halves your inner stack uses and it rounds down. So be aware of that. So I'm going to do waste knot again, and I'm going to do this. Now, with this right here, I'm going to be able to move up my progress and my quality, so my condition's normal. And then I have this right here. So I have a 7-7, which lets me get trained hand. Trained hand is excellent, especially with steady hand and also with waste knot. Since this is an 80% success, it's 100%. It'll happen at 100%. Now watch the quality. Boom! All of a sudden I got 246 progress increase, and I also got 769 quality. Now, if you time it right, you can actually do it, or if you want to risk it, you can actually try and sneak in a great stride, which would actually increase that even further. Since I still have this, and my inner quiet stacks are actually at 8, I'm going to go ahead and use Brigitte's Blessing. So this is 260% with a 100% success rate with it, and I will still have enough for Nofiaka's Wheel, which will give me enough durability at the end in order to, if I need to, will give me enough durability at the end in order to go ahead and this will give me enough CP at the end in order to restore the durability that I need in order to finish out my craft. Now, as you can see, sometimes it works for you, and unfortunately, Whistle is highly based on RNG, and it pretty much kind of sucks sometimes. Now, depending on where your CP is, you can actually also use an Innovative Touch, which gives you a free Innovative Touch instead of spending the 18, and also the quality increase. The problem is that the best you can actually get is 40%. So, now, as you can see, my whistle stacks are at 4, my durability is at 5, so I'm going to use Mimia's Wheel. Ta-da! Look, I gained 20 durability, which I still have 68 left, so if I want to, which I will, I'm going to go ahead and use Steady Hand, and then, miscalculated that, but Steady Hand, Standard Touch, and that gets me up to a 98, and then I'm just going to yell and scream if it gives me anything less than high quality. Woot! High quality. So this is actually how you do that right there. Let me go ahead, and I'm actually going to cut the rest of this out, and the video will return. You won't notice any difference, but after I get another Dragon Mother. High quality. Alright, everybody, and welcome back. We're going to go ahead and show you how the advanced crafting is done with it. Now, me personally, I still need a Dragon Scale wristband. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to go ahead and pick up another Dragon Mother high quality, but that's okay. One of the great things about the Specialist crafting is that you can actually get from 0 to 9,000, I've done it, quality, and get the high quality on it. So, I mean, it's something that's highly feasible for you. Now, with this as well, as you can see, you start with 70 durability. With the higher recipes, it's a royal pain in the ass. You also have a progress of 863. Now, this is where Maker's Mark really comes into handy, as well as a little bit of additional luck from RNGesus. So, with this, I always go ahead and start out before I start this, so I don't lose any additional time or lose quality for what I get. I always start out with piece by piece. As you can see, that one gave me 284 for 15 CP. That's not bad with it, and I only take 10 durability. Now I have six chances at 40 a pop, so that's potentially an additional 240 for this. Now, as you can see, the more that I use the flawless synthesis, the more that it counts down, which is fine. And I can actually, with this, you can actually start regaining a lot of CP. I don't like to risk losing out on my satisfaction when I can use it for a little extra CP and things like that, or I'm sorry, for a little bit extra progress, because ultimately what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to get the inner quiet with it and then use my trained hand, and it works as kind of a dual purpose. Now, as you guys can see, I actually have 444 out of 863, and that's only out of 10 durability. You really can't get that any other way. We had a few of our veteran crafters actually go, oh, I don't need, and they're very good crafters, but all of a sudden it's a game changer with it. So as you guys can see, I do my normal rotation: steady hand 2, waste not 1, and then just do hasty touch. Some of you might be thinking, well, you could do waste not 2 for 98, which is a little bit more CP friendly, and you guys are right, but the problem is that it's only 8 steps. In there, I'm going to have to use another steady hand, and I'm going to be losing out on a lot of the ability. That's great if you're just grinding straight through, but that's really not how this crafting stage works. So as you guys can see, I only got a few of them. Now here is when you're crafting. Here's also where you need to consider. When you have a good status and you're in the middle of this, you need to make sure that if you do use Precise Touch, which is 100% quality increase, you need to make sure, since you are going to lose a whistle stack, that these two will meet up. So if I do that, which I am, this is going to put my inner quiet up to 6 and my whistle down to 7. Now all I need is one more quality increase, and hopefully that'll give it to me, and it does. And as you can see, these guys right here, they match. So what I can do is I can do trained hand. Now I don't want to risk using additional CP that I don't have to. This would be nice for the additional quality, but at the same time, I still have 30 durability left. I need to ensure that I save enough back for my Nemia's wheel, and then also I need to ensure that I can go ahead and do one more round of this in order to get my inner quiet up. So I'm going to go ahead and do my trained hand. And as you guys can see, that gave me 202 progress, and it gave me 767 quality, which is really good, especially for just 5. Now here's where actually the Breakout's Miracle comes into play. If I wanted to do it again, what I can do is I can pay the CP in order, which will bring me below where I need to be, because you need right here 81, so I'm below that anyways, in order to go ahead and try and bring that down and then bring my inner quiet back up so I can use trained hand again. I know it's kind of convoluted and not necessarily as productive. Or what I can go ahead and do is I can use Breakout's Blessing, which right now is a 260% increase. If I was going to do that, I would want to make sure that I threw on Great Strides. So we're actually going to just do a hasty touch, and again, it's a judgment call on what you feel comfortable with. And as we can see, that kind of screwed me a little bit. But with this, since I don't have anything and I want to make sure that I have the CP I'm actually going to go ahead and take Tricks of the Trade, and then I'm going to do Satisfaction. This now brings my whistle stack down to 5. So if I go ahead and pop on Brigot's Miracle, which is a 70%, do Steady Hand, Brigot's Miracle, there's a good chance I can meet that right there. So, and my whistle stacks are actually fairly low, so I don't need to save for the Master's Mend. So I'm actually going to go ahead and use the Brigot's Miracle to actually bring my Inner Quiet stacks down. I know it does seem a little counterproductive, but with this, right now, I can go ahead and I can replenish from the good, and I can now use Trained Hand, which will probably, more than likely, it's actually going to go ahead and complete this out. So we're going to go ahead and use Trained Hand, and it should finish the craft. And 60 some odd percent, and I still don't get it. Go figure. But with that, as you guys can see, it really revolves around your whistle and your Inner Quiet. When you can use this, you sometimes don't even need to use your other synthesis in order to advance your progress, because you can do both for the same durability cost. It's also all about CP management. One of the major things that you have to consider is that if you have a low CP value like I still do, it makes it a little bit more difficult. And it's not something that you can rush. If you rush it, or RNGs that screws you on the good and the bad, then there's nothing you can really do about it. However, what you can do is once you get up to 60, you can actually add the Specialist action of Heart of the Leather Worker, or Heart of whatever you specialize in, and this will actually give you an additional. I haven't used it yet, but it will give you additional chance of doing a good for you. So I'm going to go ahead and get this thing rendered for you guys. So thank you guys very much for tuning in. This has been kind of a special by Sakura in order to give you guys the info on the Specialist crafting. You guys can actually see one of the Specialist craftings and a few things like that. And this is my room in my free company. So at any rate, guys, thank you guys very much. And it's been a while since I've done a tutorial shoutcast, so I apologize for all of the ums and ahs and oohs and things like that. I promise next time it'll be better. Thank you very much, and have a great day. Okay.